Hello and good evening. This is Maurice from the M&M Mountain Railroad, and I have here 3 AC6000s by Broadway Limited. The BHP iron ore series. This is an Australian iron ore railroad, and they're actually up for sale. And I'm going to have a description on each one of these. They're going to go up on eBay probably in the next couple of days. So if you're interested, they will be posted up on eBay under Triple Model Railroad. I may change the name to M&M, but I haven't decided yet. Third party person is not really interested in what we're doing. He's doing his own thing, which is all good. He does very good work when it comes to his weathering, and also he's in the middle of building his own small little test layout. So anyway, back to this. Okay, the first thing is this baby right here, 6075. This one is actually the first Paragon series, which has the quantum decoder. I believe it's called the Q1, and there's some history about the Q1 where Broadway was having legal issues with MTH, and there were certain features that Broadway Limited could not model, and that has, I believe that was something to do with the BEMF feature, which this engine do not have. So it doesn't run prototypically. Matter of fact, I set everything back to factory default, so it runs on 3, address 3. I mean, it runs okay, but don't expect it to run like super smooth. The only way you're going to get that to happen is that you change the chip. The good thing about the QSI is that they have, or the old QSI, they have these little chip or little modules that you just pop right out and replace it with a new one. I believe they're up to version 8, if I'm not mistaken. Or it could be 7. But right now, the chip that's on this one is actually version 6. So, I mean, it runs good. The sound doesn't sound like an AC6000. That's the problem with QSI. They don't come with prototypical sounds. Actually, I have one more. I have 6070, but that one's actually being scuttled. That's an experimental one, so that one's not on sale, and I have it on in here. I don't know if you can see it. It's in the back there. This is my little project bin. I got my next project. So this BN, that's going to be my next project. It's coming up. But anyway, this runs pretty good. It's in mint condition. I ran it in the beginning of the videos that we were doing, maybe a few years ago. This was featured in the video, so if you want to see it run there, you can. But you know, I'm going to show you right now how it runs. So now, I believe it's F6 to start it up, if I'm not mistaken. And I like the nicety sounds when it comes to starting it up. Doors opening, closing. Headlight on. Got a nice horn. It's not a prototypical horn. I don't know what type of horn that is. But this is Broadway Limited back in the day. So, I mean, you can change. I mean, if you want to, you can change the horn. If you change the chip. I'm not sure this one have any more horn sounds. The Paragon 2's behind it does have a second horn. Right now it's currently set to default, which is I believe is the Leslie 5. But I believe it does have the K5. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, let's get this running. I'll show you what this thing does. Runs very smooth. Looks good. And reverse. I really hate to get rid of these. I mean, these are very nice models. But the problem with Broadway is that they don't really prototypically model the railroads exactly the way these engines look. I mean, if you are an iron ore fan, you will know that this model is totally wrong. Especially if you look at the trucks. The trucks are not prototypically correct. And I really don't know the name of the trucks. I mean, I could look it up. But these are not the steerable trucks. I mean, these are steerable, but you find these on the American engines. Since these are Australian, they made these special type of trucks. And also, they have more classification lights on the cab and the hood of the engine. And another thing is that the handrails, walkway handrails, are also not prototypical. I mean, if you just, just like the engine, I mean, it's a beautiful engine. This will be the way to go. And I'm selling each of these engines for $185. Alright, so as you can see, I got that running. You see it runs very well. And I will show you the next one, the next two, and I'm going to run those together. So I'll be right back. Okay, now I have the Paragon 2s on the track. And I like the way the Paragon 2s run. At the time, Broadway had went away from using QSI because people were having so many problems with QSI from what I heard. What I read, and they went with their own proprietary decoders. Now, at first it was a scary moment when they did this, but when I saw how these things run, I wasn't scared no more. Actually, Broadway got the best running, in my opinion, the best running diesels right next to MTH on the market. And you will see why when I get this thing up and running. So let's see, I believe Paragons are still F6, if I remember correctly. No. You know what, it would be nice to turn on the power. Yeah, that works. Power's good. Alright. Now let's see how she runs. Now this is at 1 scale miles per hour. And they run absolutely flawlessly. If you've been following my series, you know how I like my engines to run. Run very smooth, and when need be, very slow. And this breaks my heart that I had to get rid of. I want to sell these because I'm not modeling this railroad. And when I got these, I didn't know much about model railroading and what engines are for what, or what railroad is what. So maybe one day I'll model BHP, but that's when I really come into some money and get the brass models that I always wanted. I'll get the brass versions of these. Okay, now reverse. Absolutely fantastic the way they run. Probably want to keep them because of how they run. The only thing about the Paragon 2s is that you can't program them. Like Tsunamis are the same way, you can't program them. I mean, like if you want to change the engine type, and you would have to get a third party, like a QSI Titan or an ESU Lock Sound Dakota. Absolutely fantastic. Now I had these, another video on these quite some time back, and I was saying that I wanted to repaint them or redo them up. Obviously I changed my mind, and obviously it never happened. Never had happened. Alright, so there you have it, folks. Again, they're up for sale on eBay for $185. And they run very well, as you can see. They are in perfect condition. They did have some break-in time, some running time on the layout, which has actually been torn down and going to be reconstructed. I'm actually going to have a small video segment on the design of the new layout. So stay tuned for that. Next up, I have another set of engines for sale, which are going to be 3 ES44 ACs, BSNF, by Intermountain. So stay tuned for that. So rock out and have a good evening.